What's up, guys? I'm Chad Barnes, and welcome to the channel. Here, it's all about real car talk, from simple fixes to smart driving tips and keeping your ride in top shape. If that sounds good to you, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button, and make sure you watch all the way through. There's a lot of good stuff coming. Let's get to it.
Mobile app or detector gadget. Prices for consumer electronics are rapidly increasing, and the cost of a decent radar detector in combo format is already approaching the cost of a semi-flagship or even flagship smartphone. In these conditions, more and more car owners are paying attention to economical software solutions for protection from traffic cameras and radars, and there are many of them, and they are actively developing, trying to keep up with the efficiency and functionality of standalone radar detector gadgets, especially since the cost of applications is hundreds of times lower than that of physical devices. All these applications work on the same principle. When installed on a smartphone, they correlate the GPS GLONASS coordinates of your moving car with a database of cameras and radars, signaling when you approach a dangerous place. The principle is simple and reliable and is able to warn about 95%, conditionally, of all potential travel troubles without an airborne receiving unit, which is used in radar detectors in the form of separate gadgets. Why 95 and not 100? Because a certain number of ambushes still occasionally occur in completely new places where they have never been seen before and have not yet been entered into the database. A smartphone with an app will not notify you about them. But these 5% of missed ambushes in general do not affect the number of fines for an adequate driver. Plus, this disadvantage is compensated by a radically quieter and calmer temperament of the application running on a smartphone, because it completely eliminates air interference that resembles the signals of real radars, false noise from active cruise control systems of passing cars, industrial electronics at gas stations, shopping centers, etc. Independent detectors gadgets, despite their significant evolution over the years, still have a restless character and often give an alarm signal where there is none. The Strelka anti-radar application for warning about traffic police cameras running on Android and iOS smartphones is one of the most popular on the Russian market of such software, characterized by a maximum set of fine adjustments, constant improvements and updates, and an extremely complete and regularly updated database of coordinates of all types of radars. Strelka has a very strong support from developers, unlike most free and many paid applications, which developers most often let free floating and update and fix bugs rarely and irregularly. Strelka is constantly improving, expanding the list of supported devices, paying special attention to smartphones, which are characterized by not too stable operation of many programs with their own add-ons over the operating system, like Xiaomi CMIUI, Huawei, Sony, with its energy-saving system Stamina, which prevents applications from working in the background, popular non-standard multimedia centers, tape recorders on Android, etc. Last summer, Wheels tested at Strelka in detail. The review is not outdated, and for those who choose an app to warn themselves of road hazards, it is still fully relevant. That review is in no way outdated, and for those who choose an app to warn themselves of road hazards, it is still fully relevant. However, recently the developers of Strelka and other similar applications suddenly faced the first wave of problems caused by sanctions, restrictions and expressed in failures in the work of long-used internet services. Fortunately, no sanctions were imposed directly on Strelka, but the application, like many domestic software products, is partially dependent on various auxiliary third-party infrastructure. Meanwhile, social networks and video hosting sites are shutting down, and payment channels that can be used to purchase subscriptions are being closed. And there are even fears of GPS satellite signals being turned off over our territory. Let's find out if there is a danger, where it may be hiding, and how the shooters are fighting the difficulties. GPS shutdown. Technically, disabling the GPS signal over the territory of our country is feasible. But even if it happens, no navigation and anti-radar gadgets, smartphones, navigators, car multimedia systems with navigation, etc. will stop working. Consumer devices that utilize only GPS for location and route guidance are long gone. These are very ancient gadgets, and only collectors have them left. Since 2016 to 2017, almost any smartphone is equipped with a chipset that supports several satellite constellations, the state GPS. Our GLONASS, European Galileo and Chinese Beidou. Anti-radar Strelka in turn processes signals from satellites of all systems that can support the smartphone chipset. 4 to 5 satellites are enough for navigation, but now Strelka uses from 10 to 50. Assuming that GPS for us suddenly turns off, 7 to 30 satellites of GLONASS and other systems will be used, which will not affect the reliability of operation, accuracy of speed measurement, accuracy of car and camera coordinates. Downloading and paying for apps. This is how it looks now, for example, an attempt to purchase Strelka in the regular Android App Store. Google Play. In view of such circumstances, the Strelka team is actively developing all possible alternative ways of accessing the program and opportunities to pay for a subscription to it. At the moment, these include official website of the developer Anti-radar Strelka. Huawei App Gallery Application Store. The App Gallery Store itself can be installed on any phone, not only on Huawei, the oldest domestic forum on mobile devices. For PDA, you need to be registered on the forum. Actually, downloading an application is half a job. You need to pay for it. Let's be honest, we all love free software, but we realize that only commercial products can be seriously supported in 24/7 365 mode. The cost of Strelka is ridiculous against the background of physical gadgets detectors. And this is an honest perpetual subscription without any annual or monthly payments. At the moment, Strelka has optimized the structure of purchases. You can pay for the application from the official website Anti-radar Strelka. Are you using the Your Money payment system, Spur, and receive an official check from the Huawei App Gallery Store, direct link? And buying a license code from the official website is the most rational option, as it is valid for the entire life of the project. But when downloading Strelka from the App Store, the purchase is tied to the store and is valid for the lifetime of the store itself. And as life shows, foreign software platforms like Google Play, Apple App Store and others can leave domestic users at any moment. Nevertheless, Strelka developers guarantee that even if Google Play is discontinued in Russia, everyone who bought the application and specified his or her real account will keep the purchase. Video instructions for settings. But how to deal with this sea of settings, and there is a real sea of them. Not all menu items are even clear at first glance, some settings do not show themselves at once. In short, you can get confused, let's be honest. But this problem is foreseen by the developers. They created accessible and uncomplicated express video tutorials on both the general pre-configuration of the application and on more subtle adjustments. But only video hosting platforms, where video tutorials are hosted, are now again in a suspended state. Some of them are going to be partially or completely shut down by Roskomnadzor. Some of them may decide to leave Russian users at any moment and delete their content. To make sure that users are not left without the necessary video tips, the Strelka team has made an urgent work on insurance in connection with the possible closure of YouTube. All useful videos on how to customize the application have been duplicated on domestic platforms. New features and capabilities of Strelka Anti-radar. First of all, there are ready-made packages of settings for drivers with different personalities, temperament and driving style. This option in no way cancels the wide arsenal of fine manual settings, but it is convenient for those who do not want to go deep into it, or simply download the application just before the trip because the vacation season is coming and do not have time to dig through the menu before the road. The packages of ready-made settings, which can be switched on with a single button, include different warning algorithms, different alert styles, different distances to the object of danger. Secondly, there are new algorithms of processing of multifunctional complexes of road control. That is, if a camera both measures speed and monitors markings roadside, the speed will be spoken according to the settings of the cameras and the notification about markings roadside according to the settings of the control complexes. This is what those who often stand in traffic jams on all kinds of ring roads face. Thirdly, the app's operation on Apple devices has become more convenient. iPhone owners can now set up automatic launch of the Strelka application without unnecessary actions. The application will be activated when you put your smartphone on wired or wireless charging, or if it connects wirelessly or via cable with a CarPlay-enabled car multimedia system. Why not Yandex Maps? One of the most common questions to any radar detector application, including, of course, Strelka, arises when comparing it with Yandex Navigator, which has the same functions. Simply put, why pay for Strelka when Yandex will tell you about all the cameras for free? It's a reasonable question, but there really is a difference. First, the most important difference is in the reliability of the database of cameras and radars, as well as in its functionality. The specificity of the Yandex Navigator database is that it is replenished by ordinary drivers almost directly, and there are insufficient checks on the reliability of the data. Drivers sometimes unknowingly add weather cameras of weather services, bridge security cameras, traffic control cameras, payment systems, smart city systems, etc. to the map. Many drivers do not care too much about the data sent and often make a mistake in coordinates by 300 to 500 meters while pressing the screen. Strelka's anti-radar works on the basis of SpeedCam online database, the source of which is also drivers, but the objects are added after thorough verification by curators based on photos and videos from recorders, identification of cameras by type and detection of mulis, etc. Recent Strelka updates, by the way, have introduced the ability to divide the objects in the database into those confirmed by curators, 100% reliable, and those added but not yet verified. If you set Display and Verified in the settings, you can minimize infrequent situations when you pass by a new camera or a mobile ambush and the app doesn't signal because it hasn't yet been added to the list of verified ones. And this is not the only difference between Strelka and Yandex Navigator. Anti-radar Strelka controls not only traffic police cameras but also notifies about a huge number of different road objects that require increased attention of the driver. Dangerous crossings, steep turns and bumps, the beginning of settlements, the signs of which are often not visible behind the trucks. Standing on the roadside, which is what traffic cops use to ambush drivers, and much more. Yandex Navigator and Strelka should not be contrasted, they work perfectly in tandem, in parallel. Yandex guides you along the route, and Strelka saves your wallet. In conclusion, radar detector apps on smartphones offer a fascinating blend of technology and practicality, especially in environments with internet restrictions. By utilizing GPS data and preloaded databases, these apps can effectively identify speed traps and other radar signals without relying on real-time internet connectivity. While their effectiveness may vary based on the quality of the data and the user's location, they remain a valuable tool for drivers seeking to stay informed and safe on the road. As technology continues to evolve, we can expect these applications to become even more sophisticated, providing enhanced features and greater reliability, even in challenging conditions. Thank you for watching, and drive safely.